Hey everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in today. I thought I would do a fun video. I wanted to do something Halloween inspired, so I asked my mom to send me pictures of old Halloween costumes that I was in, and I also looked on Facebook from a while back to just gather some old pictures of different Halloween costumes that I have done. My family was always the type who made their own costumes. Even today, I'd much prefer me make my costume versus buying a costume. I just feel like you'd be a lot more creative. They just look better. I think last year was the first year I actually bought a store-bought costume, but I did make Dave's, or we just gathered things for Dave just because it was very last minute. I remember that because we were going to Disney and we only had a week to prepare. But usually I am someone who loves to make my own costume, and growing up we had this giant Halloween tote that each year just got bigger and bigger. And it's just, I love dressing up for Halloween. This year we aren't doing anything because Dave is working and we are really having Disney withdrawals, so I wanted to do something Halloween inspired. So I hope you like this video. Also, I would love to know one of your favorite Halloween costumes, or maybe your most embarrassing Halloween costume that you were ever in. Let me know down in the comments below. I think that'd be really fun. But let's just get into the pictures. The oldest one, I'm looking down at my iPad just to let you know. The oldest picture that she sent over is me when I'm probably around 7, and I'm the one in the middle. I'm the one in the pumpkin costume. My sister Janine, my oldest sister, is Raggedy Ann. My other sister was a disco queen. And then my mom, she was a palm reader, or a gypsy woman. I know back then it wasn't really, gypsy wasn't that big of a term that was negative, but I do know that's what she was. And that pumpkin costume she actually made me when I was around 4, because we still lived in Massachusetts, so I think I was around 4 when she made that. This is a little backstory. I lived in Maine/Massachusetts when I was younger, and so you had to accommodate a winter jacket underneath, but also she was making this costume so I could grow into it over a few years. So this was the last year that I wore it, because I think I wore it every single year for 4 years in a row. And as you can tell by how short it is compared to my socks, this was definitely the last year of it. So I remember that costume so much. You'll actually see it again in a future picture, but I think I was around 7. The next one is of me and my brother. This was the first year we had Joey. Joey is actually my biological cousin, but we got him when he was 2. So I think this is the first year that we had him. And I think it's really cute that he's actually looking up to me. That's really adorable. He was a hunter, and I believe he had an orange vest on that went on afterwards. Trick-or-treating when I was younger was a long process because we lived really far away from town. We only had about 2 houses on our road, and it took a while for us to get going, because we'd go to our neighbor's house and then it's an hour-long thing, then we'd go to the next neighbor's house, and we were the only kids on the road for quite a while, so it was just an experience. So I remember going trick-or-treating with him that year. It was really funny because he got used to stopping at each of our neighbors and going in, that when we got to town he wanted to go into everybody's houses, which is really funny. But I loved trick-or-treating when I was younger, because my neighbor Jean, we'd go over and she always forgot, so she'd give us a box of cereal or a can of soup one year. Sometimes she would just give us random things. I also had my other neighbor Lorraine, who we would go and she'd have this giant bowl of candy, and she'd be what most people do, where they're putting it in your basket, but she would just take out a handful for herself and just dump the rest into our pillowcases. So it was just fun. But I remember that was the first year we had him, and trick-or-treating with him was hilarious. But this year I am wearing my sister's old dance costume, because they did Jailhouse Rock, and I am a burglar. So it looks like my shoes are tiny. I'm guessing I'm around 9 or 10. Well, if we had Joey, I was 10. So yeah, oh my gosh, that's funny. I just love, look at the old car in the background. Oh my gosh. Okay, moving on to the next picture. Next one we have, I believe, is the next year, and you can see Joey is in my old pumpkin costume, and then I'm in my sister's old Raggedy Ann costume. And that Raggedy Ann costume actually was something my mom wore with my dad, I think in the 70s. They'd gone to a Halloween party and she was Raggedy Ann, he was Andy, and she made those costumes. So I am wearing the Raggedy Ann costume that my sister was wearing in the other one. And why is the apron so high? It's like underneath my boobs. You can tell the apron was really long. I feel like we didn't have the apron that originally went with it, or it was like got moldy or something like that. So I just think that is funny. Joey's so tiny there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think I'm around 11 in this picture. Moving on to the next picture, I'm around 15, I believe, 14, 15, which I know is late to go trick-or-treating. I think this is the last year I went with my family, and then after that I would go with my friends. I know after this picture I was a 50s character, like we all went with poodle skirts one year, and then me and all my friends went and were all the characters from Wizard of Oz. But this year was the last year I went trick-or-treating with my family, and there was a whole group of us. That year I didn't know what I was, like even when I was dressing up I was just putting on like costume stuff, and the makeup was crazy. I remember that was the first time ever I wore false lashes, and also I like sprayed silver paint in my hair. It looks like silver like hairspray or something like that. I remember it was really, really cold, so it's pretty much just like just layer up as much as you can. I think that was one of the years that it snowed on Halloween. And let's see, I'm holding my cousin Devin, which is crazy to look at this picture because he just graduated high school and he's like 6'6" now. So that's crazy that he's the one in the little tiny tiger costume. And then we have my friend Chris and Eric. Eric is the one in like the scary mask. He's been one of my oldest friends since like first grade. He actually moved in next door to us. Well, it's like a mile down the road, but like next door. And then my brother is something scary. That was like when Joe got into like, he wanted to be scary things for Halloween. Moving on to the next picture that I have, which I think is the last one my mom sent, but I do some newer pictures from like college on. This costume I made. So this is me in Minnie Mouse, and I'm holding a trombone because our town does Halloween parades, and I think that was the first year. Normally I played saxophone, but I was learning trombone and we didn't have one and we needed one. So that's why I was using the trombone. That you don't care. Anyways, I'm holding the trombone, and I made that costume, which is really funny. I'm wearing my dance leotard underneath it, which is kind of cool. And then my makeup is very minimal. I'm just gonna have a black nose. So apparently I like the nose cover up pretty well. And I know we had just gone to Disney earlier that year, so that's why I had the gloves and had the ears. But I also used that costume the next year. So the next year I am in college. This is my freshman year. I went to Moravian down in Pennsylvania, and I am in the same costume again. And this time I put whiskers on, so you know, I stepped it up. And I have, I think, just a black shirt underneath, and the bloomers is actually funny because those are the same bloomers from the Raggedy Ann costume from like the 70s. But that is me in college, my freshman year. And then after that, I transferred up to UMaine. And this is me and my boyfriend and our friend Brandon. We were like a little trio that like went all over the place together. And I made all three of these costumes. We wanted to do a group contest and we won, so go me. I remember like sewing down in the basement of our dorm. And people were like, what are you doing? Why do you have a sewing machine? I'm like, I'm gonna win this costume contest. But I made all three of those. Remember that jacket took me forever that Brandon is wearing, and I am Tinkerbell, and then Chris, who was my ex-boyfriend now, but he is Peter Pan, and I remember those tights did not work out well, but I love the costumes that I made because I was just like proud of them because I didn't have like any help from my mom or anything. I know the year after this picture, I had made with the same pattern of the Minnie Mouse costume, I made a Alice in Wonderland costume. I don't have that picture anywhere, but I know that is what I did the next year. But moving on to when we are in California, I made costumes for when we went to Disney's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And we were pirates the first year. So I made this costume for Dave, which him in a pirate costume. We got so much candy. If you are planning on going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, actually go on Halloween because that's the last day of the event. And so they have to get rid of all the candy and all the stuff. So come towards the end of the night, they just have like boxes and boxes they're just like dumping into people's bags because they have to get rid of it. They can't use it the next day. So we got like a huge like laundry bag worth of candy. It was insane. We had like a big like bounty bag or booty bag, I think is what you're calling it. And then this is me. I have like a giant black wig on, which was really hot. I remember that. And then this is my little pirate costume and our like wench costume, which was really a fun one to make. I remember liking that white little thing that's underneath. The corset didn't work out very well. I feel like I messed up with how big it was supposed to be. And let's see, the next year, so this was our second year in California, and Dave was in Hawaii and I had gone to a Halloween party by myself with some friends, and I was the Queen of Hearts, and then my friend was Cruella de Vil, and then someone else was like another villain, Disney villain, and I made this costume, which was really, really simple. I just made like that big tutu thing and did my makeup because I was working at Sephora then. I had like a little crown, but I really loved this costume, and I still have those shoes. I don't know if you can see those. Yeah, they are in the picture. But I loved this one. I put so much effort into the styling of it. Instead of just wearing like something big and bulky, it was actually like kind of cute. But this was actually like the first time where I could just like wear anything and it didn't have to worry about it being like super cold outside. So I really enjoyed that one. Remember Loki got a hold of it afterwards, and that little skirt thing lasted like a day. And then I think this is the last one, which is last year. And this was the first year I actually bought a store-bought costume, but I did make Dave's costume. So we were Vanellope and Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph, and I'm Vanellope, and I have like the store-bought outfit, which still actually worked out pretty well. And then we made Dave's costume. He is wearing like these overalls, and then I made like that little the medal that he wins, and I did his hair and his eyebrows. Like, look how bushy his eyebrows are. It was awesome. But we went to Disney's Not So Scary Halloween Party again, and that was a good year. Yeah. And so that brings us to now. So I hope you liked this video and enjoyed looking at old Halloween costumes. I had a lot of fun doing this video. I had a lot of fun like doing my makeup today. Just like, I can't believe I put it together in like an hour. So it just shows you like you don't have to like go out and spend a ton of money or buy like a cheap costume you're only gonna wear once if it's just for a night. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want a tutorial on this look, don't follow mine. I think I had originally done this look following Leanne Says. I think she was a deer one year. So I'll link her video down below if it's still up. But so that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you have a fun and safe Halloween, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.